Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Weeknights with the Wonder Girls by Travel Wonder. I'm Cheryl, and tonight it will only just be me because Mabel is now on a self-guided hiking trip in the Cotswold of England. If the connection is good, Mabel may join us for a while later. If you are watching now, say hello or simply type 1 in the comments box so that I know who is here with me. I will start in a couple of seconds and feel free to talk to me by chatting in the comments box. Or if you have any questions about the Ticino hike that I am going to share, do not hesitate to put your queries in the comments too. We have been receiving quite a lot of messages asking about how the self-guided trips work. I will share about it later, and if I didn't clear your doubt, do let me know. So keep talking to me so that I don't feel so lonely. And because it's just me, myself, and I'll be like an octopus controlling everything in this episode. So the transition may be a bit slow. So do bear with me. Okay, now let me see who is here. Right. Okay. Right, I can see that we have 2 viewers. Say hello so that I know who is here. Okay. So I'm going to start now. Right. So today our topic on the Weeknights with Wonder Girls is about hiking in Ticino, Switzerland. Ticino is one of the favorite hiking trails among the locals, where the valleys are scarcely populated and the mountain paths are panoramic. The hike brings a good mixture of culture, great food, marvelous views, nice cities, and villages. Between the best of both worlds, the southernmost part of Switzerland and northern Italy. A trip highly recommended for every hiker. Okay, so where is Ticino located? It is located right at the southernmost part of Switzerland, bordering Italy. Right. Some of the key towns or cities in Ticino are Bellinzona, Lugano, and Mendrisio. So these are also the 3 key places that our hike will be hiking past. To get to the Ticino region, the best international gateway city by flight will be Zurich. And then from Zurich to Bellinzona, we will be taking the train. And the journey is about 1 hour and 57 minutes. So this self-guided trip will have a Travel Wonder trip facilitators on tour. And it will depart on 7th to the 14th of September. Right. Previously, we have quoted the trip to be about 1,648, but now there is a price reduction, and this 7-day self-guided trip with a Travel Wonder trip facilitator will only cost 1,383 per person based on twin share. And if you book by 15th of May, you will enjoy a $50 off the land package. Now let's have a look at the entry requirements into Switzerland. Okay, based on the updated information, the Swiss authority will not check for your vaccination status, and you are also not required to wear a face mask in public places, events, and public transport anymore. But however, it is still good to have some masks with you as and when it is required. Right. So, so far, do we have any questions from the floor? Right. So I shall continue. Right. So this trip is graded as a beginner 2 plus or beginner plus hiking trip. It is suitable for basic fitness level for reasonably fit hikers who at least try hiking once. The trail surface is either firm gravel or silt. Okay, that means it's concrete or we call the tarmac, with gentle hill sections and occasional steps. Right? Trails may have short, steep hill sections, rough surface, and many steps. There is also possibility of occasional use of hands or rope to move up the route. Right? Little potential danger is encountered, and hiking boots highly recommended. And usually in between days, the walks will be between 10 kilometers to 15 kilometers. Okay, so this will give you a general idea how a beginner plus trip will be all about. Right, so we will be hiking a small section of this entire Swiss hiking trail 7 known as Via Gottardo. Okay, which stretches right from the north in the city of Basel, cutting across Switzerland all the way to the south in Chiasso. So the black box that you see on the screen is where we will be hiking for 5 days, right? This entire hiking trail is about 320 kilometers, covering 20 stages. For us, we will be only doing 60 kilometers over 5 days and covering 4 stages. We will start in Bellinzona, right? Going through the trails to Lugano and eventually finishes off at Mendrisio. So what types of terrains you can encounter while hiking on this trip? So it can be paved walking path, like you've seen in the pictures like this. And also on hard gravel path in the country roads, in the countrysides. Then as we get closer to the village or to the towns, especially old towns, all right, you'll be walking on cobbled streets. Then, of course, we will be also walking on the nature trails, okay, also known as the dirt path, when we are in the forest into the national parks. Then we may be also going up naturally carved steps. Some may be built with stones on the nature trails. Right. So earlier on at the beginning, I mentioned that on this trip, there will be a Travel Wonder trip facilitators coming together, and this is a self-guided trip. So what exactly on this self-guided trip, what will you be able to expect? Right. On this particular departure on the 8th of September, one of us, either myself or Mabel, will be going on this trip together with all of you, right? And then we will be making use of digital GPS, route notes, route maps, and navigate ourselves through very well signposted trails in Switzerland. So we can all together walk alongside, or if you would want, you can also walk at your own speed. Or if you like to go slower, you may also do so. Okay, that is the beauty of self-guided trips. Right. So in Switzerland, all these hiking trails are already very well marked through their Switzerland Mobility GPS. It is an app you can download. And in addition, we will also be providing you route notes and maps, okay, if you decided to have something hard copy. Okay, and then we will all explore as we desire. You want to go fast, you can go fast. You want to go slow, you want to go slow. All right. And then for those who will want to walk shorter distance, this is also possible as long as the route permits. Or if you decided not to hike for that day, this is also possible. You can fast track yourself by taking the public transportation to the next destination. Right? It is not very difficult to navigate around Switzerland or even any parts of Europe, because because thanks to technology, a lot of the routes now has already been mapped out digitally, and then all we need is to download the map into our mobile phone. All right, and then you can use it to navigate yourself. It is similar, very, very similar to how we use Google Maps when we are in Singapore, when we are trying to find a way to another place. All right. The whole package structure works also very similar like a self-driving holidays. If you have ever been on one yourself to anywhere, or even to navigate using the Google Maps to get you to anywhere within Singapore. It is not something that is very difficult to use. And I must say, the signposts in Switzerland are so well positioned that it is very difficult to get lost. Okay, Shara is not a very good with navigation, and I always say to myself, I am a navigation idiot. Right? So if I could find my way around Switzerland or any parts of Europe, I'm sure many of you can do even better than me. Right. So what is exactly included in this self-guided package for this particular departure? Right. It will include 6 nights of your accommodations with breakfast. Okay. Luggage transfer, meaning that you do not need to hike with your luggage or with a full pack. Okay. Every day we will be hiking with only our day packs, with the necessity that we need, as well as our valuables. Okay. Your big luggage will be transferred by a transfer company on a day-to-day basis, right? And then we will be also get to go into the castles of Bellinzona, as well as to the museum at Monte San Giorgio, which I'm going to tell you more later on, as well as carefully planned detailed route instruction, digitally as well as printed copy. And then, of course, support from a Travel Wonder trip facilitator. If you have any questions up to now, please feel free to put them into the comments, and then I will answer them as we come along. Right. So now, very importantly, you may want to know, so what's the kind of elevation or what's the kind of height we are looking into, since this is a beginner or beginner plus trip, right? So out of 7 days of the trip, we will be hiking for 5 full days, right? So now we are going to go through the day-to-day route elevation. So the first day of the hike, which is day 2 of the itinerary, we will be hiking from Bellinzona to Isone. The hiking distance is about 10 kilometers, and it should take us about 4 to 6 hours. Fast one may be very fast. So the slower one may be slower, 7 or 8 hours, because that also depends on how long you want to take for your lunch break, how many stops you are going to take pictures. And the elevation for the day will be about 840 meters ascent and about 350 meters descent. Then we look at day 3, day 2 of the hike. We will be covering Isone to Tesseract. So the hiking distance will be about 11 kilometers, okay, taking about 3.5 to 5 hours, slightly shorter than the day before, because there isn't a lot of ascent and steep descent, okay, except the last part as we go down to Tesseract. Then on day 4, we will be hiking from Tesseract to Lugano, right? So after 2 days of warm-up, we will stretch a little bit and cover 13 kilometers. And then you'll see that the duration also gets slightly a little bit longer, 5.5 hours to about 7 hours. And then we'll be going up above 1,000 meters in elevation on this day. Okay. Similarly, we will drop about 1,002 meters. Then on day 5, we will be hiking from Lugano to Serpiano, right? So it's slightly a little bit shorter than day 4, 12.5 kilometers of walk, covering about 4 to 6 hours, okay, with the same elevation going up and the same elevation coming down, 855 meters. Okay, as you look at the chart, although the elevation says that, wow, we're going to cover so much, but it's not like a constant ascent all the time. You will go up, come down, over undulating terrain, and that is how the accumulate elevation comes about. Okay, don't just get too frightened off with the numbers there. Then on the last day of our hike, from Serpiano to Mendrisio, we will do a 13 kilometer and cover up to 6 to 7 hours. Right? Accumulated elevation will be plus 615 meters and drop 570 meters. Okay, and then we will finish off the hike in Mendrisio. Right. So again, hiking in Ticino, Switzerland, this self-guided trip is in 7 days. And this departure will take place on the 7th of September. I'm sorry, it should be 8th of September up to 14th of September. And the land trip price is now 1,383 per person twin share. And if you book by 15th of May, we will be giving away $50 off. All right. So if you are interested and will want to look into more details, I'm going to now put the itinerary link onto the comments. All right. It will show up. Yes, it's going to show up onto your screen in a few seconds. Okay. Let me see. Yes, it's now there. Hi, Susan. Hi, Sunny. Thank you for tuning in. Right, so far so good. Any questions from the floor? Right, if there isn't, I shall continue. Okay. So this is the trip that is going to be filled with walks with awesome views. Hike through the southernmost part of Switzerland, from the sideline castles of Bellinzona, through lively Lugano, and on to Mendrisio. The views of the countless lakes in this region will guide your way to Ticino, where the cities, villages burst into life at the end of the day. The distances are rather short, but expect some steep climbs and downhill trails at some sessions. So now we shall go into details on the trip highlights, starting with Bellinzona, which is the capital of the Ticino region and home to a total of 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites castles. Each has its own unique tale and beauty, and all 3 are worth a visit. But if we only have time for one, then perhaps you would want to visit Castle Grande. As its name implies, is arguably the most jaw-dropping of the bunch, with a fascinating museum and some fantastic sweeping views of the city as well. Right? In the package, we have included the entrance fee to the castles. So you may want to visit this one. Then from Bellinzona, we will take an ascent to Val di Sone with views of Piano di Magadino and Lake Maggiore. It is the largest lake in southern Switzerland and the second largest lake of Italy. Lugano, the largest town in the holiday region of Ticino, is not only Switzerland's third most important financial business center, but also a town of parks and flowers, villas and sacred buildings. The traffic-free historical town center with a Mediterranean flair and peppered with Italian style is definitely worth some of our exploration. The Alps will always be close by. The alpine scenery are often unblocked, and you can admire them as you walk along the trails. Houses in the south are built using mainly stones. Stones were simply taken as resources because they are mostly available in the south. Stopping by these pretty stone house Swiss villages is a must for some photo taking for sure. All right. So if you remember, we have also included an entrance into Monte San Giorgio, right? Why is this so? Because It is a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Site. It's also known as the Fossil Mountain. This is because you can marvel at dinosaur fossils dating back to almost 300 million years in a small museum in Merida. Okay. So earlier, I also mentioned about it is easily to navigate your way around in Switzerland thanks to the comprehensive and well standardized signages throughout the country, right? So as you can see from the image on your screen now, this is how we will be able to differentiate which routes we are going for, okay? So you can see that some of the signages will indicate the next town or the next city you will be heading to, along with the kilometers, especially for cycling trails. All right. And then for cycling, most of them are always marked with a with a blue background. And then for mountain biking, it will be on a yellow background. Right? And then for rollerblading, the routes will be marked with a purple background. So how about walking or hiking? It will naturally be a green background. So all the routes will be number and color coded. So as long as you follow the right color and the right number, the chances of walking the wrong way is very, very low. Right? So this is also how some of the signages you will see as you go up into the national parks or up into the mountains. Some of them will be blue to indicate that it is a mountain trail routes. Okay, usually those will be going up into the high altitude routes where you need to do some climbing, meaning using equipments with your hands to aid you along the trail. Then you may also see some alpine hiking routes. Okay, these are the high elevation walking routes that is available in the mountains. Okay, so on this trip Ticino, if you remember, we will be covering the hiking trail 7. So everywhere we go, we will look out for the signage 7 with a green background. And we are going to cover 4 stages. So what are the 4 stages we are going to cover? Right? We will start off with stage 16, right? From Bellinzona, an undulating route that covers 1 stage in 2 days. Okay, nature rules here where forests alternate with pasture lands. Right, so you will be going up and down along the trails, which this stage 16 will be break up into 2 days for us. Okay, it's not possible to do it in 1 day because of the long journey. Right? And then along the way, you will also see a lot of the Swiss alpine mountains that come into view. Then on stage 17, we will take a little detour past the Denti della Vecchia, the rock formations over Monte Boclia. Then we will walk through the beech forest and high plateaus to Montebre, a vantage platform high above Lugano. We will walk many of Ticino's gorgeous lakefront towns that often features its own unique ancient architectures and culinary offerings. The lakefront towns surrounding exude a relaxing feel and quickly set you into a calming stress feel mode. Then on stage 18, it is a little bit demanding but rewarding route climbs to San Salvatore, which is the best known vantage point in this area. We will pass by typical Ticino villages, picturesque landscapes, and hospitable grotti. The hike leads slowly down to Mercote. Right? There are a few vantage points that you will look deep down into the valleys in the Ticinos. We will also explore the narrow cobbled streets between the stone houses or buildings, and pleasant surprises may await us as you just turn every corner. Then we will come to the last stage of our hike, which is stage 19. A short climb will lead us to the UNESCO World Heritage of Monte San Giorgio, the fossil mountain with its 300 million years of history. Okay, we will go via the fascinating villages of Meride and Tremona. Then we will arrive at Mendrisio, famous for its elegant historic buildings. We will also visit the museum that houses one of the most important fossils deposits on the planet. And this museum will be in Meride, which the entrance to the museum is included in the package. Mendrisio, with its hilly landscapes, holds some of Ticino's best vineyards, most of which produce the Merlot, which does well in its hot, sunny climate. So if you are a wine drinker or a lover for Merlot, when we are in Mendrisio, you must try its local produce. And in Switzerland, most of the wine are not for export. Even if you can find it anywhere else, they will usually be very costly because their local consumption is very high. So a lot of the wine, of the Swiss wine that are produced in Switzerland, are being kept within the country for its own local consumption. So when we are there, we have to make sure we try some of them. Right. So any questions from the floor? I see that we have Laura, Stanley. Hi, Stanley. And then also Ugan too. Right. So if you have any questions about this trip, Ticino hike, please feel free to ask me in the comments box. Okay. And then I will answer them one by one. Right. Let me just take a look at the message. I think Mabel has texted me. I wonder whether will she be coming in and show us where she is now. I think she is already breaking for lunch. Okay, she says that connection is bad. Later when she go to the outdoor, she will try. Okay, but she doesn't look good today because weather hasn't been good in UK today. She had 2 lovely days on her walk. So it is raining now. And then this morning, just before she approached the lunch stop, the wind is very, very strong. Yeah. So I think it's a hard day for her today. Okay. So maybe you just continue. Okay. All right. Let me see. Is the slide moving? Right. I'm also experiencing bad connections today. Okay, the slide is not moving. Right, let me try again. I hope it will work. Nope, it's not. Right, so has Mabel passed on her bad connections to me? Okay, all right. Maybe if any one of you okay, maybe I'll just bring up the slide and share it through another way. So just give me a minute. I'm going to open up the slides now. Okay, let me see where we are now. Okay, we are at the Momo count. No, I think something is wrong with the slide. Okay, so I shall share it through another way. Okay, so here I'm going to share my screen. Right. Okay, so we shall continue. I don't think Mabel can join us today due to bad connections and poor weather at her lunch point at wherever she is in the Cotswold region. All right, so after our hike have finishes off in Mandarin Show, you may want to find your way back to Zurich. And then one of the best way to get back to Zurich is by the train, right? The journey will be slightly a little bit longer and it will take us 2 hours and 40 minutes, right? So if you're not in a hurry to come back to Singapore, you may wish to consider to extend your stay in Switzerland or in any other parts of Europe, all right? There are 4 countries that shares the borders with Switzerland, right? You have France, you have Germany, you have Austria, and there is also Italy in the south. So if any one of you who would like to extend in Italy, you will continue your journey down south from Mandrisho, all right? You don't travel up north towards Zurich or to any parts where else. You can even also do extensions in other parts of Switzerland, and some of the key places to visit. If you are a first timer, you may wish to consider Geneva, Zermatt, Interlaken, Lucerne, St. Moritz, or in Zurich. Or if you may wish to go to other parts of Europe, you are able to do so too, whether they are just a train journey away or just a short flight away. Right. So once again, the hiking in Ticino, Switzerland will take place on the 8th to the 14th of September. And then the land trip price is now 1,383. And if you can't join us on this trip, you may also do so on other departures. Okay, starting from April up to October, where the seasons will end. Okay, and depending on which period you are going, the land trip price will start from 1,309 up to 1,383. So that is also the high season. So normally during the best season, right, the price will be slightly higher. And the prices that you're seeing here are based on twin share and land only. Okay. So you may wonder, but Cheryl, you have been quoting me all on the land package. But how about the airfare? How about some of the other costs like the train tickets that I have to budget for? So here we have do a simple budgeting for you to have an idea how much it will cost before you depart. So the 8 days hiking, the 7 days hiking trip is 1,383. And currently airfare to Zurich during the month of September cost between 1,139 up to 1,425 on various different airlines. So depending on which is your preferred carrier, price may differ around this gauge here, even more, or probably maybe in a month's time when there is promotion, it may can come down a little bit. Then the train cost from Zurich to Bellinzona will cost about 45 Singapore dollars one way. And then from Mandrisho back to Zurich will cost about 46 Singapore dollars. So all in all, before you depart, your holiday budget will comes up to be about 2,613 per person onwards. Okay, so this price will exclude your travel insurance, any of your extension you would want to do in Switzerland or any other parts of Europe. right? Then on the tour budgeting, how much should you budget for the tour? Because there's only breakfast included, no lunch and no dinner. So on lunch, for about 7 lunch, it will cost you about a total of about 147 to 196 Singapore dollars. Okay, it can be more, it can be less, because these were based on your choice of food and beverages. Similarly, dinner, you can start off from about like 160 or 170 up to about 250. It can be more or it can be less. So this is only a guide which we provide you to let you have an idea how much it will cost if you are going to walk into most of the restaurants around the towns or cities that we are going to put up into. And even lunch, a lot of time, not many of us will spend that much on money. Sometimes we don't even spend more than 10 Swiss franc. Okay, reason being because lunch, you are always on the go. We will usually do some packed food to have our own little picnic up in the mountains, right? And then we will indulge and enjoy a good dinner after the hike, right? And then throughout Europe, similarly, in Switzerland, there is this hotel city tax that the hotel will collect on behalf of the local government, right? It can cost from anything from 2 to 5 Swiss franc per person per night. So we will have to budget that for about maximum uh, 42 Singapore dollars. We probably won't go into that extreme because we are not staying in any of the 5 stars or even 4 stars. Is only probably for one night of accommodation. So we'll probably look into below 40 Singapore dollars. All right. And then on this trip, we will also need to take boat rides and funiculars. Funiculars is like those tram or even like a short cable cars ride. And that will be about, we have to budget for about 63 Singapore dollars, because a lot of all these local transfer, whether it's boat rides or the cable car, okay, they want us to pay on the spot. Okay, so it's very difficult to add it into the package. Hence, we have taken this out from the package in 2022, and then right. So now after the holiday, coming home, is there anything we have to take note of? Right? We have already simplified our process to almost like pre-COVID times. Okay. So only for fully vaccinated travelers, ensure that you have your vaccination certificate ready, whether is it in digital or paper copy or for checks. So at the present moment now, I think non-vaccinated travelers are not allowed to come into Singapore quarantine free. Okay. Then we no longer need to do the pre-departure test required. No more PCR, no more ART. I'm sure this one all of us are very aware about. However, we will still need to submit our SG arrival card, our health and travel history declaration 3 days before we arrive into Singapore. Okay, this information is extracted from MOH as well as ICA Safe Travel websites, and it is as accurate. Right, again here, hiking in Ticino, the self-guided trips will cost us about 1,383 per person twin share, and if you book by 15th of May, you will enjoy $50 off. Okay. So far, any questions? Any questions from the floor? No questions. So good. I see Mabel. Right. Let me bring her in. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
It's no longer raining anymore.
So lucky the moment just before, okay, you add me to the live, the sun is out. Okay. Just a few moments ago, I was shivering and my breath has, those steam coming out of my breath.
Where are you now?
The
Tell
sun
us, where
is
are you
out.
now?
I'm now at Snow Hill. So it's today is my third day of hiking. So I'm actually at the midway mark, Snow Hill. Yeah, so I just
Mm.
had lunch at this place behind Snow Hill Arms. So these
Okay,
really
I'm
nice
going to.
building. Yeah,
Okay, I'm
this really
just
nice
going to
building
give
behind.
you.
Mm,
Let me
full
see. How
screen.
could I give you a full screen? Right. I'll
Okay.
remove myself.
Okay. So everybody, hi, greetings from UK. So I'm right now at Snow Hill. I'm on the third day of my self-guided hike in Cotswold. Behind me is where I just had lunch. I just had fish and chips, which is really very nice. Cod fish, with the side piece, mashed piece by the side, and some white bait. So this is my lunch menu. So maybe I just share with you a little bit of the area around behind me. So as you can see right behind me is actually the local church. This town is very small village. There's not really a lot of shops and all that. It's just one of the pit stop along our way where we could have lunch. And earlier today, we actually went through two other villages. Very nice, very quaint village. Unfortunately, it was a bit rainy today. So if you do see some of my pictures, you'll see that it doesn't have the signature blue skies with fluffy white cotton candy clouds that we usually see. Okay, let me just flip my camera around to show you this lovely image in front of me. Just give me a moment. Do you see this scene in front of me? You know, it's so lucky. Just about 10 minutes ago, it was pouring cats and dogs. And right now, the sun is out. And once the sun is out, the scenery around is amazing. Okay, so this is the town. This is the local church at Snow Hill. And the iconic red telephone booth. Everywhere we go in the town, there's always bound to be chairs for people to take a rest. Yeah, so as you can see, it's really very small, just one round, one turn of the camera, and basically the entire city and the town center already, the village center. Yeah, so this area is more of for people to make like lunch stops, not so much for tourist shopping, things like that. Yeah, but what I really like it because earlier on we went to a few other towns. It's also the same. There's no shops. It's mainly residential areas. So you really get to see how idyllic the country life is, like the English country life. Yeah. So over here, I'm actually one just now earlier on. When I was in I hop in. I heard Cheryl talk about food in Switzerland and all that, and I just like to share that I'm very surprised that food here is very reasonable here in the UK. Maybe it's the countryside. I think it's because I'm in the countryside. Like I could have a decent lunch, sit down lunch. Just now earlier, my fish and chips only cost me £10.95. And it's a very decent size of cod fish with chips, lots of chips and mashed peas. And everywhere we go, like even if you order half pint of apple cider, it's only like $2.40 pounds. And everywhere we go, there are groceries, no small little grocery shops or Coop. And from there, we can buy our, daily necessities that we need for our hike, like snacks and all. What really impressed me, I was like sharing, I saw 5 donuts for £1. So the prices here are really very reasonable, even lower than what I expected. Okay, so earlier today, okay, just share yesterday after my live session, we continued the hike, right? So it was a pretty uneven, nothing too drastic in terms of terrain. It's very nice and comfortable walk. So after we concluded our second day, we realized that uh, our body got used to it already, to the really long distance walking, and then we got used to reading the map and following the instructions. So it became even more enjoyable. Yes. Then today is our third day. So we thought that, third day would be probably feel a little bit more fatigue. But surprisingly, our body adjusted very well. The only challenge we faced today is that it started raining. but it's not heavy downpour. We were quite lucky. The heavy downpour happened when I was having lunch, but throughout the walk, it's just those kind of slight drizzle. Yes, but I wearing layers because I didn't want to get wet. Yeah, so I make sure I wore layers so that I keep warm during the walk. Today's walk is a little bit more hilly, so I did pretty much a little bit more climb compared to the first 2 days. But it's very interesting because we actually veered off path to go into forested areas, and we saw a deer, a wild deer that was prancing around in front of us. And then we came across a few other sheep farm, and one of the sheep even came up to us and allow us to pet it. It's like finally, after seeing so many sheep, finally we have one that is willing to let us to come up to us, to let us give it a touch. And I'm quite surprised that their wool is quite rough. It's not as soft and fluffy as it looks on from far. Yeah. So after today's hike, now that the rain has cleared up, I will be continuing my hike uh, to the next town where I'll be staying for one more night. And my luggage should already be there by the time I arrive. So just nice, everything falls into place at the right time. And I'm very happy with the accommodation also because everywhere we go, we actually stay in the local town. So it's not the big cities, and the accommodation is very cozy, very typical English style, very cottage feeling. So it's very nice to return back to a very warm home, after a long day out uh, exploring the nature, the Cotswold area. Yeah. So yesterday after lunch, the hike is actually along the Cotswold way because where I was at Chippy Canton is actually at the fringe of Cotswold. So when we were hiking, we saw quite a bit of locals doing the same route. So we just tag along and say hi to them. At one point, we were a little bit confused. So actually, the local just came up to us and say, why don't you just follow us? We will show you the way. And anytime you want to break off, just break off. So that's how friendly and helpful they are when we are doing the hike. So really, it's bluebell season. We also came across lots of wild garlic flower. So in case if you're wondering what it looks like, just do a search. It's actually white, small little flowers. And because we came across a lot of them, right? When the wind blows, we really do smell garlic smell. Yeah, and those flowers are actually edible flowers. So people do really pick them off, and when you smell it, the stem has a very strong garlic fragrance. So it's really very interesting to see all these little sites that we normally wouldn't get to see if we are just doing a normal tour around the region. So going on this hike, it is not a walk in the park. Okay, I have to be very honest, it's not a walk in the park, but it is very enjoyable because at the end of the day, after when you reflect back on what you have seen, what you have gone through, then I realized that, oh, these are the things that I wouldn't see if I'm on probably a coach holiday or a self drive, because I'll be just going to the towns and that's about it. But I will not really get to see how the real English way, the farm life, the animals interact with nature the way I would have if it's not on this self guided hike. Yes. So can I have Cheryl back online?
Yeah.
Hi, Cheryl.
Wow, your fish and chips sound so yummy.
Yes, I took a picture. Later, I'll show you. It's really very big, but it's so delicious, right? That I finished everything. Like, it's really very
I'm
nice,
just
very tasty, and it's only yeah.
I wanted to ask you, did you share it with your hiking partner? So you actually finish it all by yourself.
Yeah, I think because of the cold weather, right? Today we are especially hungry, and not only just fish and chip, we also ordered two other side dishes to add on to it. Yeah, but everything, the two fish and chip plus the two side dishes, we only paid like 35 pounds in total. So it's really very good value. Yeah. And over here, they do have a lot of walkers. So a lot of places where you go, right, they will have actually a signage out there say walkers are welcome, but if your shoes are muddy, just leave them outside. So we just enter the pub with our socks. Yeah. Which is at first we were like, is this allowed? Then we saw the signs that, oh, okay. So yeah. Then we feel very cozy because it's carpeted inside. Yeah.
It feels like
Yes.
going back home, when you enter the restaurants barefooted. I mean, just with your socks only.
Yes, because it's to extend courtesy to them lah. They don't want us to dirty their area, which I also totally understand. Because like today,
Mm,
certain part of the route we go is really muddy because of the rain. Yeah, so it's really muddy, and the mud stick to our boots. So we're also like
mm,
wondering, oh, with our muddy shoes, how we gonna go anywhere? Yeah, but they do welcome anybody, just that you remove your shoe at the entrance before stepping in. Yeah.
mm, mm. So are you now going to continue on your journey?
Yes, I am gonna continue with the hike. Hopefully the weather holds up. Because see, after now the dark clouds are approaching. Can you see in the back?
Yes.
It's not
Just now, as
yeah,
you
it,
as you as you come online, I still can see a little bit of scatters of blue clouds, but now it seems like the blue are already covered with the
yeah,
dust.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
But I think it's just gonna only be like that today. Uh
Mm,
Forecast in terms of weather forecast. So tomorrow and day after it will be bright and sunny again. Yeah, but just
okay.
before I came to have this lunch point, right, I was actually trekking through this rapeseed field that is filled with rapeseed flower. I tell you, the whole field
Wow.
is yellow, it's golden. And the amazing thing is, on the first day, right, when I did the hike, from far we saw the field. Never will we think that today will be the day we are actually walking past the field and the
That fit.
hill. Yeah, correct. So it's quite amazing. I took plenty of photos and videos also. And I can't wait to share with everybody lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, the duration that you take to complete the walk really depends on how many stops you are going to make.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So how
Okay,
many
so
more kilometers you have to the end of
I'm
the
only at the
day?
halfway mark, so I think about
Mm,
another four. Today is a long walk. Total is
mm,
estimated to be at least 20 kilometer. So I still have
mm,
10 more to go. At least 10 more to go.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you should keep going,
Yes,
and then I'll
I
chat
think
with
so
you
too.
probably later when you arrive at the hotel.
Okay. All right.
Okay, bye
Sure. Thank
bye.
you. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Okay, so we shall continue with our Ticino for today. Okay, I'm going to share my slides. So just give me a little while. I'm going to bring up the slides. Okay. All right. Are you looking at the slides now? Okay. Here we go. Right. So if you remember, two weeks ago, we shared about the gastronomic heart of Italy, right? Which will happens on 18th of September. So if you are looking into a longer holidays of 2 to 3 weeks, and if you are also a cyclist, you may want to combine with this Italy ride. There is a in between 4 days gap where you can go and visit another city, or you may just extend in either in Switzerland or in Italy, or it takes it at a rest day before you start another journey. Okay, it will give you a very good experience of uh, Italy, especially this is in the north, so it's not very far away from Mandrisho. All right. So this cycling trip will be 1,376 per person, basing on twin share and also land only. Okay, and also not forgetting our Let's Go Kai Kai with Wonder Girls campaign that is ending on the 15th of May. So far, we already have some submissions, and we hope to see more. As we said, that this souvenir, this Travel Wonder souvenir, as well as the $100 travel voucher, is almost a giveaway. If you have been cycling or walking all this while in Singapore, do not hesitate to submit your rides. Okay, you may just get yourself a $100 voucher where you can offset off for a trip end of this year or even in 2023. Okay, we invite you to bring us on hikes and rides around Singapore. Okay, all you need to do is to give us a cycling or hiking route with snippets of the route highlights. Okay, so and if your route is selected, you will win for yourself a hiking or cycling related souvenir, as well as a $100 travel voucher. We will be presented to you on our day. So we'll be picking a total of 6 cycling and 6 walking entries, so a total of 12. Okay, right, so submission is easy with these 4 steps. You drop us an email or WhatsApp titled Kai Kai with the Wonder Girls. Our WhatsApp number is 6587143321. Right? Or you can email to us at twsg@travel-wonder.com. All you need to do is to share with us your route description. Where are you going to start? Where is it going to end? Along with the route highlights and total distance covered. Right? If you wish, you may also include your GPS map. Okay. Include the cycling or the walking terrain. Whether are we going to walk or cycle on road, PCNs, or the trails. All right. If it's a cycling itinerary, what type of bicycle is it suitable? Is it only for 4 days? Is it mountain bike, or is it only for road bike? Any types of bicycles are welcome. Any theme? Do you have any theme for the route? Or any extra information you think we need to know beforehand? Then you sign off with your name and mobile phone. Right? It's that easy. Right? It's, as I said, it's almost a giveaway, because if you have been doing it for the past 2 years, I'm sure you have lots and lots of itinerary. Don't have to worry whether is someone going to submit something similar to you, or say, oh, it's okay, let's give the chance to another people. All right, I may not get it. You never know, right? Just submit, and then you may just be the winner, right? The closing date is on the 15th of May. So we still left with about 3-4 days. Okay. Right. And then here's a little bit of notice that Travel Wonder will be in Europe from the 13th to the 22nd of May. So during this period of time, we may have a little bit of time difference depending on where you are looking for us. So we are still contactable, right? Whether is it through phone or through email, but we may have some slight delay. We may take longer than usual, so just be patient with us. Okay, after that, from 23rd May onward, I would say that it's like resume back to normal. But meanwhile, during this period of time, do look out for our activities, as we are going to share them on our social media platforms. Okay. Right, and then here we have something that after Mabel's had her self-guided trip, right, and then we have this spirit of self-guided trips that we think we would like to share with everybody. It's like, embrace each day with an open mind, and there is no 2 days the same on the self-guided trips, right? So we welcome all of you to experience self-guided with Travel Wonder, right? To have a taste of what this self-guided trips is all about. And I could guarantee you it's probably one of your best such active holiday in your lifetime. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have enjoyed the Ticino hike trip preview. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask us, and we will answer them to our best ability. And definitely, we hope to have you to hike with us in Ticino in September during the autumn month this year. Right. Thank you very much, and good night. Bye-bye.